Hi there, my name's Ben. You know me from the IELTS podcast website and probably a few other English learning websites. In this video, we're going to look at a couple of sentences you can start incorporating into your essay. Now, don't just copy-paste them, okay? Maybe some of them you could, but learn them, learn the structures, and then start adapting them. Because if you just copy-paste, the examiner's going to know what you're up to. He's going to spot your game. He's going to call you out. He's going to take you up, smack you. No, he won't really. But he will probably mark you down, or she will mark you down. Okay? So what you want to do is learn these structures and learn them well. The first sentence that we can use or memorize, okay, is this one. This essay will analyze this issue using examples from war-torn countries and conflict zones to demonstrate points and support arguments. But like I said before, we have to adapt it. And the good thing about this sentence is that it's easy to adapt. All we have to do is interchange the examples, and the examples of obviously are going to be the ones that we use later in the body paragraphs. So we'll say, this essay will analyse these issues using examples from Canada and Rwanda, or whatever, to demonstrate points and support examples. Okay? Or to support arguments, sorry. Another case. This essay will analyse these issues using examples from higher education institutions and local government education policy to demonstrate points and prove arguments. Okay? So you've basically got a grammatically perfect sentence there which you can adapt to almost any essay. You just got to make sure that it's coherent, and making it coherent means putting in the examples that you're going to use later in the body paragraphs. Okay? Hopefully you're writing these down. Like I said a million times before, let's change this lesson into an active learning lesson rather than just sitting there looking at a screen. Grab a pen, start writing them down. You'll increase the chances of memorizing them. Then it's going to be easier to use them in your actual essay writing. Another example, say if we want to say however, and then just start going on to a different point, we can squeeze in another, how many words? It should be 5 words. Another 5 words in there. And you've probably heard me say that communicating less, using the same amount of words is better. However, this one is mainly for the students who are struggling reaching the word limit. And what we can say is, after saying however or but, we could say, however, comma, it should not be forgotten, bam, 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 bam. Yeah? However, it should not be forgotten that, da, da, da. And there we go into the next point. And we've just managed to squeeze another 4 words. And the advantage of this, like the other one, you get those words in order. That's another 4 or 5 words you've just put down in paper in perfect grammatical order. And okay, it's only 5 words, but it's small steps, and it takes a lot of small steps, small perfect steps, better said, small perfect steps in the right direction to your target band, which is what we want. Okay, more sentences. For example, a recent study by Harvard University showed, yeah, and this is exactly like the other one, okay, and this is another maybe 8 or 9 words. If you've memorized that whole sentence, it's another 8 to 9 words that you can just knock off the 250 word limit, and you've got them in perfect order. Another small step, and you can adapt it. So you'd say, for example, a recent study by the IMF showed, for example, a recent study by the UK government showed, bang, bang, bang. Okay, and this is more for the students who are really struggling. Okay, getting these perfectly grammatically perfect sentences in your essay will help a lot. Another one, there is ample evidence to suggest that scientists will promptly discover. Yeah? There is ample evidence that local governments will be implementing new policies, blah, blah, blah. Okay, the key there is ample evidence. Okay, is ample evidence, never are evidence. Okay, next one. Take, for instance, a recent study by the UN that clearly showed, exactly like the other ones. Take, for instance, a recent study by the IMF that clearly showed. Take, for instance, a recent study by the Canadian government that showed, or that clearly showed. All of these are just small steps, stacking the deck and getting things working in your favour to help take you nearer. Okay? Now then, like I said before, and I'll have to say it again because it's incredibly important, adapt them. Don't just copy paste them, adapt them to your essay. Alright? Now then, final one, penultimate one, and then I'll give you another tip. So, the final sentence, numerous studies have consistently found that, bam, and then you say what you want to say. Numerous studies have consistently found that children from economically, advanced countries, blah, blah, blah. Numerous studies have consistently found that students who learn 3 languages have a reduced chance of contracting Alzheimer's or getting Alzheimer's at an elderly age, whatever. But the key there is the beginning of the sentence. Numerous studies have consistently found that. Okay, so that's another structure. Now the final one, which will also help you increase the amount of words you're putting down on the paper and will also help with your vocabulary score, your lexical resource, is that what I want you to do is start incorporating lists. Okay, so if you say recent electronic gadgets have dramatically increased worker productivity, okay, that's okay. We need to finish it off, of course, but we could also say electronic gadgets such as the smartphone, the laptop, and the 3D printer have drastically increased worker productivity. Okay, and what it is just squeezing in 3 words, probably collocations, hopefully. They don't have to be, but squeezing in 3 words that are relevant to that topic or that are specific to that topic. Okay, and that's going to increase our lexical resource score because we've just shown the examiner we know what we're talking about. We've given examples such as bam, 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 bam. Okay, or I'll give you another example. Serious diseases are a recurring matter or a recurring expense for many governments. Okay, how would we improve that sentence? Well, we could say serious diseases such as malaria, ebola, and dengue fever are serious expenses, blah, blah, blah. And we put in we put in 3 words that are specific to this topic. Okay, and when you are making a list, usually they come in 3s. So you say X, X, and X. Malaria, ebola, and dengue fever. Okay? And doing this will, like I said before, help you increase your lexical resource. Now, super advanced tip, if you want to take that further, okay, make sure the lists are parallel. Alright? And we'll look at that in another video. But if you're super keen, you can have a look in the list and you'll see a video about parallelism. Okay, if you want to take this even further, or if you've got any questions, you know where to go. You can subscribe, get all the videos, get all the new up-to-date notifications, all the rest of it. And you can also get my email, send me an email, ask me a question, the important thing, like I said a million times before, take action, do something every day. Little by little, you will get there. All the best, and good luck if your exam's coming up next Saturday. All the best.